How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So first,
Absolutely.
and I was like,
let's dig it all up.
oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast, a lovely Saturday morning. Actually, it's a little gross and rainy here in New York.
But I call that lovely.
Yeah, but I gotta go grocery shopping.
Oh, I cannot wait to just lay on my couch all day.
Ugh,
So it's lovely to me.
I need to go grocery shopping, and I'm not gonna have time tomorrow.
This may be a life hack
It's a
for
lot.
city life. Obviously, if I had a car, I think grocery shopping wouldn't
It'd
be
be way
such an
easier.
ordeal.
Yeah.
I
it'd
have
be way
started
easier.
twice a month getting grocery delivery, and I get like all the big stuff, all the heavy stuff, all the liquids, and then I actually go to a grocery store then the other weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be that bad if I don't go grocery shopping. Here's the thing. As an accountant, because that's my whole identity, quarter end close is like the worst thing to ever experience in your life. So that was this past week.
Yeah.
And so I didn't grocery shop or do anything. I actually, fun fact, have not left the confines of my apartment since Wednesday night when I got home from work. So
The best and worst.
I haven't seen the sun. I haven't seen another person besides Meredith twice now over Zoom.
That's crazy.
No, yeah. I have been working to the bone. Yesterday, I literally told everyone, I was like, I have to log off by 7. And everyone was like, we'll see. I was like, no, I'm telling you.
I will be logging off
by
at 7.
7. So I should be good now. My only other hell will be Monday. But after Monday, I should be good.
That's Monday Alicia's
it's like,
problem.
Do I just do grocery shopping post Monday? Like I'm like, fuck it.
The noodling over like, can I survive? What do I have? Should I order out? Is one of my favorite things to do when I'm deciding, do I need to go grocery shopping? My parents don't get it. My mom's always like, oh my God, your fridge is empty. And I'm like, why would I stock it when you're like coming in town and we're going to go out to eat?
No, literally.
I have to walk and carry this shit. I don't want to do that.
And the worst is when you go somewhere and they're like out of the thing you need. And you're like, I'm not going to go to another store.
That happened to me this week because I forgot it on my first grocery haul.
There you go.
So then I went back just for it and they were like, oh no, we don't have any in stock. And I was like, great, this ruins my whole
Well, then
meal
I die.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no option. So I might order in. It depends. A lot of stuff depends. I'm actually volunteering tomorrow morning, so I can't go. I'm going to go canvassing for New York politicians.
I love that.
I'm fighting the good fight, I guess.
Can you go after that? Because I'm always like, if I'm out of the
Well,
house.
then I have the championship March Madness game, which I might go after that if I'm not drunk. But
I feel like that is unlikely. All
That
three
could
of
be a
those
bad
in one
idea.
day. Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyway, happy Saturday.
Happy grocery shopping to anybody who has a
Thank
car.
you so much. No, truly, that's the only thing when people are like, oh my God, you live in a city. I'm like, no, everything's amazing except this one fucking thing is terrible. Anyway, well, would you have a small celebration, Meredith?
Well, you got to do the rest of your intro. We totally blew past. Rate,
Oh
review,
my God,
subscribe.
right. I had to, yeah. Okay. Oof. So as you can tell, Meredith and I just have a lot to say. So we also do that on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon. All the links are in our description. Also, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We have figured out how to see all of your lovely reviews. We will read them whenever we get them. Amazing. Did I do it now? Now do you want to give me your small celebration?
I think you're good. And also, this has become my small celebration, but I also want to be like you this week and be a little pessimistic. So I'm going to do both.
Amazing. Oh, great.
We're going to start with the bad. my TV broke last week, and I'm not joking. It was the worst 4 days of my life waiting for a new one. I immediately bought a new one because I was like, I can't live like this.
No.
But again, because I live in a city, I can't just go to a store and pick one
Can't
up.
just buy it. Yeah.
So I had to order it online, and it took 4 days.
That's where I don't know. Do I just call the Uber?
I thought about it.
Look.
I thought about it because I was like, I have a Costco membership. So like I can get myself to Costco, and then my friends were like, yeah, just call the Uber and put it in get the XL, put it in the back of their car.
But then you have to stand at my apartment ready for when the Uber gets here to help me bring it upstairs. Because you got to think about a lot of different things.
Yeah. So I was like, we're just going to order it online. Like I am out of the habit loop of convenience. Like I'm out on Amazon and Target, like the quick buys. So I'm like, I can live 4 days watching TV on my phone and my computer. But I will say I didn't enjoy any single minute of it.
No. The computer's crazy. I haven't done that since high school.
I felt stupid, and I was like, I might as well lay
college.
in bed and watch this then. Like, why am I laying on my couch watching on my computer?
No, truly. You know what was crazy? Now that you say this, I had a TV in college, right, in my room, that I never used because I didn't have cable, and this was like when streaming was like barely a thing.
Like you could watch Netflix on your TV and like that's about it.
I would just hook up my I didn't even have a Netflix account at the time, so I was using my friend's, which was on my computer. So the only reason I would use my TV is like if my roommate and I both wanted to watch something, or like people were in my room, I would plug up my computer to the TV. But other than that, I did not use that TV. Why did I have it?
I had the same thing. I really only used it for Netflix.
I used it freshman year in the dorms. The dorms, because you could hook up to cable in the dorms.
Yeah.
But once you moved out of the dorms in your own like crappy little house.
I did watch a lot on my computer in my bed.
On the computer.
And
my bed. Why would I move to watch on a TV?
Because also that was like your place to be alone.
Yeah. No, truly.
Man,
I would fall asleep with my computer next to me. Watching TV.
Had this like sketchy website that you could basically stream everything on next day. Awesome. And I was like, you know what? I this is worth any virus I get because I need to watch my show immediately.
Truly. I can't think of one more important thing.
Hey,
I can't.
I never got a virus. I'm going to be so honest.
And you know what? Look where we are now talking about TV.
It's a job
This
now.
is what was necessary.
This is
our job.
That was the journey to get to where I am today.
This is our job, obviously.
But my real small celebration is we hit 6K followers on TikTok, and I just think that's a beautiful thing. Oh my God.
Y'all, Meredith has been working her ass off.
I have so much fun.
I haven't. But Meredith is really enjoying it. I'm more of I text Meredith my ideas and she'll make it.
Yes.
That I have randomly, because if you've heard me complain about making a TikTok, my God, I hate it.
It's so funny when you're like, hey, I have this really good idea. And I'm like, yeah, here it is. And you're like, okay. Like, 2 minutes later, didn't think you'd already have it.
No, it would have taken me 4 hours.
The Mac to iPhone, it definitely benefits me on like the quick action.
That's it. That has to be it, because I'm a PC girly always and forever, and I only really use my work computer, which is a PC because I have to I need Excel.
Yeah.
And Excel on a Mac is
terrible. Terrible.
And so yeah, I'm always like on my phone on Canva, like I can't zoom in.
Canva on phone, a nightmare.
All I do. It's all I do is try and find a template and try to upload. It sounds so simple, and I'm sitting here like, why won't the picture zoom in the way I need it to zoom?
It is so hard, and they don't have all the same features, so then I'm so used to it on a computer that then I'm like, wait, where is this thing that I know I can do hidden in here? But do I have to double tap anywhere?
Someone kill me. I sound like an old woman, but that's my life. So go Meredith on TikTok. We are so proud of you and all your hard work.
I love it. I literally sit and watch my favorite edits and I'm like, come on, people, this is good.
This was good shit I worked on.
My Sierra Miller outfits one. I'm like,
that was really good.
That took really some thought and some Googling of what episodes those outfits were in.
That was really good.
Thank you. What's your
Are
small
you gonna ask
celebration?
me?
Yeah,
Thank
you got to give me a
you.
beat. I never
No,
know if you're going to
there's no beats.
respond and give me
No
a
beats.
clap. I want to give
Nope.
you the floor to applaud me.
No beats. Straight to me.
What about you?
Okay, my small celebration is kind of a story, but go with me. I have so much fun by myself. Like that's my small celebration. I could crack
Me.
myself up. So last night I was just scrolling, right? And you know how I always say, go with me on this, that like I see a lot of myself in Paige. I think we're very similar. I say that with like our attitude, our outlook on a lot of things, the way we like treat people.
I think your view on the world, like
when
how
Paige
you
gets in a
perceive things.
fight, I love to fight people. That's my domain, right? Whereas I think you and I have a lot of like similar interests, but we come at things very differently.
Yes.
No, Paige and I are coming at this, but we have different interests, and let me tell you why. So I was scrolling last night, and I come across Paige did an Amazon Live thing. And people were asking her prom questions, like, should I get these flowers? How should I match? Like, what dress?
I was like, what prom questions could you ask her?
Not me. I'm way past prom. But people were messaging in prom questions, and she was answering. And she said on this live how she's been to 12 proms, which I think maybe we knew. I don't know.
She has definitely mentioned. She mentioned that, I think, in the prom episode.
Okay, so she's been to 12 proms, and she won prom queen at a school she didn't even go to, which is one of her greatest accomplishments.
I don't understand how that happened, but
right. Well, I actually don't know, but she on the Amazon Live said she went to an all-girls school, and there were 2 all-boys schools. So maybe she won prom queen at one of the all-boys
school. Okay, that makes sense. I'm thinking like public school, name rated.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No one knows
that you have the influence there.
But it made me crack up because I was like, we couldn't be more opposite. And here is the funniest story that I totally forgot about, but this unlocked it to tell you how different Paige and I really are sometimes. So in high school, how our prom king and queen worked was basically all the seniors after school one day had to go to this meeting about like the expectations of prom because, you know, we were the older kids there and like they didn't want us drinking and stuff. So they were here to like lecture us. And then at the end, they give us this blank sheet of paper where we write down one name for prom king and one name for prom queen, like blank out of nowhere, right? And then what happens is later on a Saturday, we all have to like go into this. It's like a prom workshop thing where you pick up like your prom tickets, your after prom tickets. But they also had like booths where if you needed like a cheap dress or you needed cheap altercations, they had like people like volunteering. And then there they would put the top like 5 girls and 5 boys. And you would vote, so that would be like the people who got the most out of the blank writing.
That's to get like the top people who are going to be on the ballot, the primaries.
You get the top people, and then the top 3 of each is your prom court who's presented at prom, and they crown a winner and all that.
And that you know ahead of time going into the night, or no?
You know if you're on prom court.
Okay.
Like if you're not on prom court, you don't know who the prom court is. But like you get these 5 names at this like workshop, you vote once for your favorite out of these names. And then the teachers, I assume, count them up and are like, okay, here's our top 3. Here's our 1.
Yep.
We'll go into prom. Great. So we're at this after school assembly talking about how we need to behave. And then they give us these blank sheets. And I was with my friends who I like played basketball with, and we were just chilling. And to be so clear, I wasn't like uncool in high school, but I wasn't also like popular. I was never homecoming queen.
Well, like you were
that
known.
wasn't my vibe.
Like people knew who you were.
I was very involved, but like prom queen was not my vibe. So I was like, they give us this blank sheet of paper, and I was like, I forgot every single person who had ever went to my school at that moment. So I look at my friend, I'm like, who the fuck do I vote for? Like, I was like, who would be prom queen? And she looks at me and she goes, I'm going to put down your name. And I was like, don't put down my name. Like, I was like, don't do it. And she's like, I'm going to put down your name. And she turned to like the rest of our friends and even some people around us. And she's like, put Alicia down. That'd be hilarious. You know, like, haha. And it wasn't, again, meant as like bullying. It was more of like, Alicia would hate this. Let's put her name down.
Yeah.
I was like, don't put my fucking name down. So I just put my friend's name down to be like,
because you're also like, it doesn't really matter.
No, I'm not
like, there's no way I'm gonna,
I'm not gonna win this. And so whatever. Then my boyfriend and I, prom date, we go to this like workshop thing on the Saturday to go pick up our shit. And we were going to hang out after. And so we go together and I walk up to the booth where you vote. And the teacher that was there, I was pretty close with her. And she was like, oh my God, you're finally here. I'm so excited to tell you this. And I was like, what? And she's like, you're on the prom ballot. And I was like, no, I'm not. And she's like, that's so exciting. And I literally didn't want to be like, it was a joke for her.
God.
But I was like, oh no.
Like, I didn't.
And
I just needed to come in like 7th place.
My boyfriend comes over and he's like, you're really on the ballot? And I was like, I guess. And then he's like, I was like, no one's gonna vote for me. And he goes, I am. And I was like, don't vote
Please
for me.
don't.
Don't be this person.
I don't want to be up on that stage.
Stop. This is my nightmare. And he must have been my one and only vote because I didn't even vote for me. And then the whole day he was like, I'm going to prom with the future prom queen. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
That's funny.
All of my friends that then went, they took a picture of the ballot and they were like, this is so funny, but we're not actually going to vote for you. I was like, no, thanks. And guess who ended up winning prom king and queen? Was this couple that shaved their head for St. Baldrick's, which is like a way better cause than anything I ever
that's
fucking
so
did.
great.
Yeah, it was very cute. There were only 3 girls in our school that shaved their heads.
My God.
And I wasn't one of them.
That's a large number, though.
Yeah, 3
props
girls.
to
That's
them.
crazy.
Like,
no, props to them. I'm a terrible person. I didn't even think about it for a second. And my mom also said, I have too big a head to be bald. And I was like,
no.
go off, Mom. But yeah, so that's the person that actually won at our school.
Oh my God.
But the fact that I was on the ballot, I was like, don't vote for me. And then Paige is like, I won and I'm so proud. And I'm like, literally my nightmare.
That's wild.
So that's our different.
Because I went to an all-girls school and like going to obviously boys' proms was so normal. Like it just happened obviously with all the dances. It was kind of fun because you got like double the amount of dances. Mm-hmm. But for the entirety of the boys' school and their dates, to know who you are is like wild to me, because at my school network was like big. Like there were many schools. So you just had so many different friend groups, which was really nice because you could always find new friends at different boys' schools. But
well, maybe Paige was campaigning. Yeah. I don't know. The way my friend like campaigned for me to get me on the ballot. But then I was like, that's
so funny if her like date was like, let's get her.
Yeah. But I was cracking up by myself because I thought of that moment and I was like, Paige and I are so funny.
Listen, shared life experiences.
No, literally the same person. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that I was cracking up and I had the best night last night by myself. And I think that's what's important in the end.
I love that.
Cool. Should we get into news?
Yes. Do you want to start first?
Can I start? I only have one.
Yes.
Women's March Madness Final Four was last night. I was so nervous. They had on ESPN, they had the game. And then on ESPN2, they had the Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi show, which if you don't know who that is, they're 2 very big basketball players who both went to UConn, but they've had great careers post college. And they're both retired now. Congrats, Diana. She just retired this year.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's amazing.
She's done. But I was like, to calm down, I'll just like listen to them talk because I was nervous for UConn. I want it for UConn so bad.
Yeah.
And so the first game was Texas versus South Carolina. It was a good fight, but in the end, South Carolina, the reigning champs, came back and won it. Mm-hmm. And then it was UConn versus UCLA, and I was nervous because UCLA has a 6'7" post. If I was 6'7", and there are other 6'7" players. Ugh, Sedona Prince, my nightmare.
She's done though. Thank God.
Thank God. But Sedona Prince is 6'7" and she's terrible. She is like scrawny. She can't post up. If I'm 6'7", I am putting on muscle. I'm gonna become the biggest Amazon you've ever seen.
I hate that like tall people just get that position. Obviously, like a big like needs to be tall, but I'm like, you still have to be good at the game. I don't understand how Sedona Prince has been on teams for so long.
But there's this girl in UCLA, Lauren Betts, who is 6'7" and muscular, and she's good. Oh my God. So I was like, oh no, because UConn's a smaller team. I was like, oh man, this girl, if you get it in the post, she's done. She's got 2 points. So I was a little nervy. But let me just break out this team really quick. the star of UConn is obviously Paige Beckers. Everyone knows her name. She's going to be first pick in the WNBA. She only had, and I say only because the past 2 games she's had over 30, or the past 3 games she's had over 30. She only had 19 points this game. And Gino pulled her out for a lot of it because they were ahead. So he's like, I'm not gonna waste Paige right now.
That's good. That makes sense.
The AZ Fudd, number 1 shooter in the country currently. She hit like a good 20 points, 19 points, somewhere in there, right out of the gate. Like, I don't think she scored in the second half. She, right out the gate, was just like boom, boom, boom. Amazing. And then this freshman, freshmen, I don't take into consideration most of the time, but there's this freshman, Sarah Strong on UConn. She plays basketball like she's going through a stroll in the park. Like, you know how basketball players, they shoot up a 3 and then they're like, yeah. Nope, Sarah shoots the 3 up and then like continues on her stroll. Like it was nothing. It took 0 effort. She does a great block and then she just like gets on with her day. Like you don't even know she's killing you. She had 22
That's hard to predict then because if she's so fluid in her movements too, easing in and out, you can't predict that she's going to pull up for a 3. Yeah. Damn.
She's also a post player. So she's like tall, but she handles the ball so well. She can hit 3s from anywhere. Wow. She's like crazy. And so then I also have learned since knowing who she is, her mom and dad have both played basketball. So she's kind of like a legacy. But her mom was playing in Spain when Sarah started to get into basketball. So she's playing like European style basketball, which is different. Yeah. And they like really train differently, which is why Sarah is so different than any other like American
That's such
player
a perk because having like something that sets you apart then makes you harder to guard. And then also if you have a different type of defense too, it just it's a really different transition to have someone you're not used to playing on both sides of the court.
Yeah, the problem is she's tall, so they put these post players on her who aren't used to defending on the outside. And so Sarah will just pull up. She's always open. She pulls up, shoots a 3.
That's amazing.
And then if someone does come to cover her, another guard to shoot is open. And UConn's great at shooting on the outside. So like, you shut down Paige Beckers, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got Sarah Strong. This fucking freshman, imagine when she's a senior, dude.
That's the thing. That like is great for future years, like to build off of players that you're losing, like to have this as a key player for the next 3 years at least.
Yes.
Incredible.
And Sue and Diana, again, both went to UConn and were under Gino. And they were like, do we think he's going to retire if he wins, right? Because he'd want to go out on top.
Win. Yeah.
And they were like, but now he has Sarah as a freshman. Like, he's got to see this through. So, like, is he going to stay another? He's like 71 at this point,
That would be so hard as a coach.
I know.
Because, yes, I would want to also go out on top. But then if you have players that you're coaching up and you want to see them through, or what if you could go back to back? Like, that would be so hard to choose the moment to leave.
It's hard. And you have AZ Fudd has declared she's not going in the WNBA. So she's going to be back and she'll be leading the team. And Coach R has like been with hers for 4 years. Like, it's just, he's not going to retire. He's too high.
But even for the program's sake, you have to announce it kind of early so then people can react to it and you can get your new coach in. And oh, God.
Crazy. But UConn did pull out the win. It went to the point that all of the starters were sitting on the bench by like the fourth quarter. It's the biggest difference. Like, I think UConn had 80 something and UCLA was at like 30 something or no, 50 something. Sorry. But that's the biggest gap in Final Four history in the women's. And so UConn will be playing South Carolina. I'm so scared.
This is on Sunday, right? Sunday night.
On Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared for them. I want it, I think, as much as Paige. I want it as much as Paige. I really want it for her. Because, like, what a story. What a story is, like, you get to UConn, you make it to a Final Four, or a championship game your freshman year, and then you're out on an ACL injury. Yeah. And you have to rehab that back. Your team, and then you come back and your best friend and teammates out on an ACL injury. So she's not playing. And you make it to the Final Four your senior year and fucking you lose to Caitlin Clark in Iowa on a bullshit call, I might add, a moving screen, please. And then You declare you're going to come back for your 5th year of eligibility. So this is literally your last year. And you're going to be number 1 pick in the WNBA. Like, I just want that championship for her. I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
I'm rooting for them.
So that's
your news. That's big news.
Last night I had the most fun watching this game. I had so much fun. I love women's basketball. Anyway,
what a time
that's my
to be
news.
alive.
I know. It was amazing.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, ready for some pop culture?
Give me your news. Yeah.
Okay, first up, have you heard our, I don't want to say our guy, but...
Our guy.
Because I don't want to claim him. Billy McFarland and...
totally our guy. Oh, man.
Fyre Fest Season 2.
He gave us so much to talk about during Fyre Festival 1. We worked together during that.
I know.
Remember? We watched all the
Both
documentaries. We would come into work and
crazy?
Analyze it. Oh,
everybody else that we worked with, for those who don't know the lore, is Alicia and I worked together in a very small company. So we would just yap at the lunch table.
And it was open. It was one room, basically.
One giant room.
Open floor. And if we were at the lunch table yapping, the whole office could hear us.
This podcast started long before it was ever recorded.
Because we would have lunch and people would take out their headphones to listen to us. Yeah.
Even though they said that they hated it, let's be honest, they loved it.
They were listening. They were cracking up along with us.
So those documentaries other people did watch and came and sat with us and commented.
We literally would be like, and our guest now, and we would just talk to whoever wanted
welcome to the lunch
lunch
table.
Welcome to our show.
I really do regret not recording those in a conference room.
We were straight up like, we should do that. I blame Mara. Mara wouldn't let us.
That's so true. She was like, no, I just want to sit and have lunch.
She's like, let's just eat outside and talk about salads. No, Mara, let's not.
But he is putting together another Fyre Fest. And
he's back.
It's coming up.
Is Ja Rule here too?
Ja Rule is not involved, but there is a retired, I think, NFL player who is the only committed talent, and people are like, what is he going to do?
Oh, awesome. What's he going to do? Juggle?
We don't know.
That's so dope. Awesome.
He said it was going to be in this one location. I forget where, but
Mexico. He said somewhere in Mexico.
Oh, yeah. The board of whatever was like, he doesn't have permits. So he was like, you're so right. I'm actually going to this island now. And the island's like, we have no plans. Tickets went on sale. Highest ticket I think is
they were for tens of thousands of dollars.
I think the lowest ticket might be $2,000 and the highest ticket is $2 million. And so if you hand your money over to this man, you deserve that cheese sandwich you're about to get.
Yo, after the first, I just went to the website. It's end of May. Oh my God, so fun.
No plans at all.
Okay, so general access is the essential. So basically, you don't have a tent, you don't get cheese sandwiches, the essentials, $1,400.
Oh my God.
Then you can get a VIP pass for $5,000. Then you can get an artist access pass for $25,000. Or you could get what the fuck is this? The Prometheus? Is that a Greek god?
I don't know.
The fire starter. Before I tell you the price, let me read what this is. This pass is shrouded in secrecy. Legend has it that it was inspired by the Titan Prometheus, who defied the gods to gift humanity fire with a Y.
No.
A spark of creation and innovation. This pass is not for the fan of heart, nor is it for the casual attendee. It is for those who seek to rise above, who don't just want to witness history, but aspire to shape it. And that is, Meredith, do you want to guess how much?
$1 million.
Higher.
2 million?
No, it's you were close with 1 million.
But
a little bit.
1.2 million.
1.1, baby.
What? Why add the 0.1?
Okay, number one. If you honest to God, oh my God, his sweatshirt is $130. This man's broke. This man's broke.
Well, he has a lot
no
of
money.
restitution. And he has
Yeah,
no
how
skills.
is he putting this on?
Okay, well, this is the craziest part, Alicia. He cannot leave the southern part of New York. So this whole thing is going to go on. Well, it's not going to go on. But, like, let's say it was going to go on. He can't even go. He cannot go work his own event.
At least the first time he had to experience the hell that was Fyre Festival. Now he doesn't even have to go through it.
I don't know how you get this delusion of a white male who has no skills.
Putting it on. How is he putting this on? He has no money.
Every time I see a video, people are like, I do event planning and you cannot do an international event in 2 months. It just isn't possible.
Who the hell is buying that? Are people actually buying?
I don't know. That's what scares me.
Because I sometimes, for some reason, our guy pops up on my TikTok as he's walking the streets of New York City, his phone outs and abouts, and he's like, hey everyone, it's Billy McFarland here. I just want to talk about how we are selling out of all of our Fyre Fest tickets. I get all those, right? My question then becomes, I haven't seen anyone actually claim that they've bought these.
Same.
Also, he has hotels and stuff, which he's had to put a deposit down, supposedly.
I don't think he's actually talked to those people. I think it's like, imagine you're throwing a wedding and you're like, here's 5 hotels you could stay at, but like, I'm not getting a room block. Like, just call them yourself.
No, I get that. But wouldn't... Okay, so the Prometheus pass holders have their accommodations provided, but is that it? So if I buy the $1.1 million ticket, one of these hotels has to put me up. But do you think once it comes in, Billy calls the hotel and is like, book one room?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think he even has that much of the logistics down.
Oh, I could stay on a yacht too if I wanted to, apparently. If I wanted to.
The craziest thing is, anybody who has gone to like business school, you have to do these group projects where you like make a business and you like have to like ideate and like think through all this stuff. He doesn't even have that much of it down. Like, yeah, obviously in those business school case studies, you're not like calling these hotels, but he doesn't have any of the logistics.
You do to be like, what are the rates I could get?
That's true.
Hypothetically.
But like, he doesn't even have a like idea fully flushed out on paper, let alone acting on anything.
Yo, the ads I'm gonna get for clicking on this website.
I keep us updated. What's the date? I actually like want to put it in my calendar.
It's May 30th through June 2nd.
Okay.
Who's spending $100,000 or $250,000 on this? $25K.
Fyre Fest 2. Because one thing I am sad about with Fyre Fest 1 is I didn't know about it when it was crashing out the first time. So
same. I got after.
I would love to watch it go down if people chose to give him money. I will relish in your pain this time.
For $25K, is the travel included? Oh, it's only giving me general access.
That's way too much like logistics. They are not prepared
accommodations
to do that.
Not included. Oh, but if you do buy the cheaper tickets, your accommodations are not included, but they don't give you any recommendations. They just said, it says accommodations coming soon. I'm sorry, this is in 2 months, you say? Oh, and I have to book my own travel. What am I paying for
okay, are there any
access to festival grounds and transportation? I'm paying $25K.
And think about this. They changed the location of it. Can you imagine if you bought your ticket?
Is it Playa del Carmen? That's what it says on the website.
I think it moved. I think it moved from there, so maybe they haven't updated their website.
They should update the website. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Fyre Festival 2 drama heats up as organizers clash with Playa del Carmen officials. Okay, there you go. The fact that he's selling merch for $130 for a sweatshirt, you're robbing me. Does he think too? He couldn't even just come up with a different scam. He had to do the same.
That's
Who's
what it
falling
is.
for this scam?
Well, I'm like, you're not even doing it a little bit better. Like, you didn't learn anything from the first go around.
Who's buying? I'm literally.
Can you look up the artist too? Like, who's committed? I think it's just the NFL person.
To lineup. Oh, that's amazing. It just brings me back to the. Here we go. The sequel.
Okay.
Oh, Betches. This is Betches. That's fake news. It said Tom Sandoval and the most extras, and I went,
wait, that's so funny.
Wait a second. Okay, he teases the lineup. It brings me back to the website, which I didn't see. Oh, here we go. NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown. There you go. But he does say DJs, rappers, reggae artists, pop stars, but also athletes, divers. Well, what diver? Models, pilots. What pilot?
We're doing a little air and water show.
And creators. This person's going to get, not even Dave Portnoy would show up to this, and he's a dick. McFarlane also provides video.
Dave actually knows how to, like, create something.
But, like, if he's bringing in a creator, he's like, Dave, be my creator at Fyre Festival. Like, come. Even Dave would be like, no. Which,
I see what you're saying. As, like,
Dave,
the person on stage.
He wouldn't even show up as, the entertainer.
Thing. Who would want to, just from the logistics standpoint, who would want to attach their name to this on the off chance it fails again? Like, let's say Billy actually did a good job and, like, has everything settled. He's just lost public trust. So I wouldn't want to be a creator and artist associated with this.
There you go. And well, remember the name Antonio Brown. But yeah, so Playa del Carmen did say there's no event called Fyre Festival 2 in Playa del Carmen. There is no record of planning. This government prioritizes order, security, and truth. Follow our official channels. So there you go. The website hasn't been updated. Well, March 5th,
Billy has come out with a new location, and that location has also said there are no permits that have been submitted.
Yikes.
Yeah.
If you know someone who is going to this, someone let me know.
Even if they're just like somehow have a bunch of money and just think it's funny. Like, I don't care what your reason is for buying. I won't shame you. I'll shame you if you go, but I won't shame you for buying it just to see what's going on.
Well, what if you're like rich enough where you just buy it and then you go, but you can obviously stay somewhere else?
Yeah. That's what I want to find, that person.
I'm going to go on Reddit and see if anyone's like actually.
Ooh, good idea.
Okay, I'll do that later. But
we'll keep this story can keep unfolding.
Oh, this story will continue. I can't wait for the next documentary.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are like, like, tag me whenever the like Fyre Fest 2 documentary comes out. Can't wait. That's what I'm here for.
Here you go. I'm on Reddit. Someone was like, I've never wanted a sequel to a documentary so badly. And then someone comments, what do you think the guy will do to get the water this time?
Oh, Andy is not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
If Ja Rule won't even hang out with this, that's when you know. Andy was on, whatchamacallit? The Anonymous. He's busy. Anyone who buys deserves to lose their money. Fire me once, shame on me. Fire me twice.
Oh, God.
I can't wait. That's amazing. Who would go?
We shall see. We shall see.
Know. Wait, really quick, because I brought him up. Dave Portnoy is crashing out over the tariffs, which I find hilarious because this is what he voted for. He's down $7 million, baby.
What's hard for me?
It counting.
Because I don't have that much empathy, but I understand that people are like, I really didn't think he was tied to Project 2025. I can't believe some of that stuff. But the tariffs, he literally talked about constantly.
Are you sad? Are you sad, Dave Portnoy? You're down $7 million.
What did you think would happen?
But didn't you vote and openly talk about this? You were like, tariffs are so great. Oh man, that one sucks. That one hits hard. Anyway.
The tariffs were a really hard one to talk about. People I know, talk about the tariffs with people I know, because I know people who are very educated, but not on that. And it's like, hey, I understand that like not everybody is an expert at everything. So why don't you go look at what the experts are saying? Like, what are economists saying about this? And let's go from there.
If you're going to vote for someone, right, and you don't know their whole platform, right, if you're sitting here going, I'm going to vote for him because of the economy, okay, well, the tariffs are going to affect that. So, like, do your research.
What it is. It's
do
like,
your research. You can't vote
every
for someone.
person I know who voted for him was like, for the economy. And I said,
well,
okay,
then you have to know what tariffs are.
Break that down because that doesn't make sense.
Well, have your economy, man. Enjoy the recession. Goodbye.
You got the economy you voted for.
Enjoy that, Dave Portnoy. Sorry about it. I know my uncle is so sad because he loves Dave Portnoy pizza reviews so much.
That's hard. That's a rough moment for your
Dave
uncle.
Portnoy can't afford pizza anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Dave Portnoy's going to have to make his own pizza now.
Oh, man, terrible. Anyway, what other news do you have?
I have something that's going to fire you up.
Oh, good.
I teased this on our Summer House episode about things that families do that will just tick you off.
Oh, yuck. Like kissing on the lips.
Worse.
It's not, there's nothing.
Alicia?
I know I said this on the show.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than kissing your parents / kid on the lips.
You know, the Willis family, like Bruce Willis, the Willis family. So like his daughters.
He's very sick, right?
Yeah. This isn't related to him. But his daughters, I think Rumor Willis is the one who said this, but she said this about her family, her sisters. They take baths together.
As kids.
Not as kids, present day adults.
Like today, like
today.
How old is she?
They're in their at least 20s and 30s.
She's old enough to talk to the press? And she's taking baths with her.
Also adult.
Does she only have sisters?
It's all sisters.
I would kill my sister before I would take a bath with her. Ew, what?
And they were like,
can I say
like, this
the
is normal.
Only thing that would make that worse is if there was a brother involved. That's crazy.
I do think it is best that it is all sisters, but
you know, if you're gonna do it, it better be.
But like, we have free will. Like, if I was forced to do it, yes, I'm gonna do it with my sister, not my brother.
But you're gonna tell me the Willises can't afford the water bill for 2 baths?
Such a good.
That's what you're gonna sit here and tell me.
This is a choice.
You're saving LA from the drought with your 1 bath.
Like, why do you enjoy this so much? You're coming back for more.
Unbathed. I'd rather be unbathed.
1000%
You're coming
agree.
back for this is a regular thing they do.
Yeah, no, it's not just like, oh, well, we did it once. That's what I'm saying. This is worse than kissing your like your family.
Do they
on your
live
lips.
together? I don't even think I'm with my sister enough to bathe with her.
That's a really good point. Like, you're going out of your way to go bathe with your sibling. You're seeking out their house, their bath with them.
You're seeking out their house is insane. Yuck. First of all, I'll die on this hill. Baths are disgusting.
I agree.
I don't even want to sit in my own filth. You're gonna sit. I'm not sitting with my sister's filth. I don't know where she's been.
And it's not like she was like, oh, we like love a big jacuzzi moment where we're like sitting on our bathing suits, just like having fun.
Same thing as a bath, but
no, but like they're not clothed. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, ew. I can't comprehend this because it's so weird.
I told you this was worse. I would rather kiss every family member on the lips than bathe with any family member.
The only reason why I'd maybe pick the bathing is because my sister and I would both hate it. We would just both be on opposite sides, covering
like eyes closed.
Yeah, covering our bits, being like, if we have to.
That's true.
No, but weirdly enough, maybe I'd rather kiss I don't know. Why is this an option?
Yeah, would you rather take 1 bath with 1 person in your family or kiss every family member on the lips? I think I would kiss every family member on the lips.
Is the person I take a bath with my sister? I have to know.
I guess you get to choose.
Choose. My poor sister. I can't choose her for that. I know my sister and I would like literally just not look. We have changed in front of each other, but bathe.
That's the thing. You're sitting there and you're like trying to not make eye contact. Like, can you imagine the eye contact they're having? Because they want this.
Do they bathe? Do they like rinse each other? Like, can you get my back? Why? Why is it necessary?
I don't know.
Also, if I think it's the fact that it's like by choice and it's just like for funsies. Like I have been in situations before where my sister and I like we gotta go, so we'll leave our bathing suits on from the pool, shower really quick together.
Yeah.
Like I'll wash her hair, she'll wash mine, and we'll hop out. Never have we ever been naked, and it's not because we like enjoy showering together. Honestly, I think one of us would just remain unshowered. It's because we gotta go or like something. There's an apocalypse happening. The zombies are coming after us. I don't know. But never would I just look at my sister and be like, do you want to gossip in the bath naked together?
Here's the exact quote, by the way.
Oh my God, no.
Rumor Willis said it. We all still take baths together, my sisters and I.
How many are there? How many are there?
There's 3. And that's just the kind of house that I grew up in. People may think that's crazy and weird, but I don't. And the comments are like, hey, this is weird, but also you didn't need to say this out loud. Like, let's know less about each other.
You know, when we talk about just lie and take things to your grave?
Yes.
So they must have, I'm picturing a normal bathtub. They must have if there's 3
I'm
of them.
picturing
they
a
must
kind of
have,
larger jacuzzi type bath, like not the standard like apartment, you know.
And they all just get in naked?
I mean, I guess they didn't really clarify naked or not, but if you're going to come out and say that,
If
I
you're
have to
bath,
assume.
If you're saying bath, that's crazy.
Here's
Here's
and not
the
like,
thing.
this is the household we grew up in. Not like once we did it and it was like really fun and silly. This is like, hey, this is how our household runs.
Okay, I want to be so clear. The kissing on the lips, that freaks me out. Like, that's gross. This is more like weird. Like, this is like quirky weird. This is weird.
Yes. That's the thing. Kissing on the lips, I'm like, oh, that's a choice. You know, that's something you do. Is this necessary? Again, like if my parents were rich and they had a jacuzzi as a bathtub, I'm like, listen, sis, get your bikini on. We're going to mom and dad's jacuzzi. But if they're not telling this like it's a bit.
Hey, we just went on a run. Should we get in mom and dad's bath?
Should we do what we always do?
That's crazy. That's so weird. The thing is, like, I can see how it's not. Okay, how do I explain this? I can see how it's not gross, maybe, and like not incestual the way kissing on the lips is, but this is like unnecessary. Like there's zero reason to do this. You could just have a powwow in the pool, I'm sure you have, or like on the couch.
One sister showers and the other sitting in the same bathroom and you're chatting while the other person showers.
Yeah,
like,
why are we
what are you getting out of bathing
Here's
together?
what makes it weird. Why are we all with bodily fluids, whether that be sweat or else, in the same body of water, clearing that out, right? We're getting clean, ideally. So we're like taking our dirt and our dead skin off of our head, and we're all just gonna.
Why do we need to do it at the same time?
Why? Yeah, why do we all have to do that together at the same time? That's weird. This family should be exiled.
Yeah.
You know,
people are like, what in the White Lotus? Like, let's file this under things you don't have to tell anybody.
When the apocalypse hits, we send all the demons straight to this house because these are the people that need to go first. This is so weird. Somehow, this is just so weird. I can't comprehend.
This comment's so good. It says, I can't imagine calling them up and saying, hey, let's take a bubble bath.
No, yeah. I understand they're probably not even like looking at like there's nothing sexual about it. It's just weird.
It's just like we grew out of this. Like you grew out of it.
It's unnecessary.
It's that you're adults and live in different homes. Like
as kids,
I would do this with my siblings. You like take a bath together, you do all the bubbles.
I get it. A parent is like one bath over 3. My mom had 3 kids. She was like all in the same bath you go. She doesn't have fucking time.
Yes. So I get it as kids. It's not weird because it's not sexual. But you grow out of this at a certain point and want some independence and alone time.
Well, also you grow body parts was also like the moment that you stop showering with your sibling is when one of you gets like boobs.
Yes.
You know, like now you get your private time because we're taught like when you bathe is kind of a you
private
you know how we set
occurrence.
boundaries. This is a boundary, so we know like other people shouldn't be walking
so then
in
you go
when
through
you're
that
showering.
phase while you're still living together, but now you don't even live together. And
So we're going
still,
out
like,
of our way. I have to
yeah.
hop on the freeway to take a bath with you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is so.
I told you it was worse than kissing on the lips.
I don't know if it's weirder for sure. It's like way weirder. Because kissing on the lips, you should grow out of too, but that becomes gross when you don't. This could be gross if there was a brother involved. That's where I would be like, that's up there weird. This is just, there's no thought process. This was a day we all woke up and we said, let's not use our brains. Right? Let's just do this thing.
The problem is
This
I have more
so
questions, but I don't really, I won't be okay with the answers.
Are we in mom and dad's house? Are we in one of our
know.
houses? Imagine Bruce Willis being like, are you guys all here to bathe together? That's crazy. This family's canceled to me. You know what, Bruce Willis, I wish you the best on your recovery. I don't know who the fuck you raised, but terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Okay. My last thing is Madison was on Watch What Happens Live this week on Wednesday after Summer House, and she said that Paige ghosted her about the breakup. Madison texted Paige about the breakup. Paige never responded. That's fine. But then I guess when Madison announced she was pregnant, Paige hasn't said anything. What do you think about the fallout of their friendship?
I think it's sad, but at the end of the day, I mean, Madison and Paige, as much as I love them both, I know I wouldn't get along with Madison. I think we see things very differently.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I would get along with her is if we were in the same friend group and we like had to hang out.
Yeah.
I don't think one-on-one me and Madison, the minute any kind of human rights comes up, we're going to disagree.
True.
Also, Madison was Craig's friend first. So like that's who I get you can text and be like, sorry about the breakup.
She didn't just say like, hey, congrats on the pregnancy.
I'm not, because Madison, before she announced the pregnancy, didn't she speak out against Paige? How Paige just wasn't, Craig just needs a nice girl. Wasn't that
that was Patricia.
No, but Madison also made comments like that. Yeah.
On like the after show, I bet.
After show or like Watch What Happens. It was like Watch What Happens Live. Madison like backed Craig publicly. I'm not texting you about your pregnancy then. Because here's the thing. This breakup didn't have to be messy. So I think Craig made it messy by not.
I will say I think the fans made it messy first.
The fans made it messy, fine.
And
but
every show then just amplified it.
Craig and Paige could they could have taken what the fans said and like left it at that. Craig instead did not ever, including on Southern Charm, say anything about how Paige didn't cheat on him, right? Paige came out on her podcast and said there's no bad blood.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working out. She openly talked about that. Craig didn't. And then when people were like, oh, Paige is cheating on you, he was like,
And I don't ever think I stand on a little bit of like the side of he doesn't have to come out with some public statement, but when asked directly on Watch What Happens Live, that's I think the moment he just needed to be like, nothing happened. Like, let's just stop all this hate.
Yeah. And watching Craig, he's angry about the breakup. Like he is very upset about it, which rightfully so. But like, that's what's going to start the war. And then Southern Charm, also Summer House. I mean, Kyle and Amanda we're pissed at Craig because of how he acted. Southern Charm responded. Madison publicly, if I remember correctly, like backed Craig. Yeah, I'm not texting you about your pregnancy then.
Yeah, if she said something like that, I get not texting about the pregnancy then. I
think she said something like, it was either Watch What Happens Live or something where Andy was like, what do you think about the breakup? And she's like, oh, Craig just needs like someone nicer or something like that. Or like Craigie can do. It was something like that. I don't know if it was that because it was Miss Patricia that said nice girl, but Madison said something along those lines. So I'm not texting you about the pregnancy either.
Yeah.
And we were only friends because I came to Charleston.
Heavy on that. Like we are not, like we are friendly in the Bravo universe, like on future Bravo cons. I'm sure like, I don't think they have beef by any means, but yeah, this is a friendship because of my boyfriend, not an independent friendship.
And at the end of the day, your cast is coming at me and you're a part of that cast, unfortunately, that's the fallout. And second to that is I haven't seen Madison say anything nice about Paige since the breakup.
Yeah.
And let's take it a step further. When I said the only reason we're friends is because Paige goes to
Like,
Charleston
if Amanda
and like
and
hangs
Kyle
out.
got pregnant, it's not like Craig would text them like, congratulations.
Yeah, but like also from what we've seen, Paige and Madison were very like surface level friends, like just gossipy, like love to hang out, whatever. The minute it's like, oh, Madison, why do you always support the men on Southern Charm? That's where they disagree, right? Their fundamentals aren't the same.
Yeah.
And I truly don't think it was like that big a friendship. And yeah, if Craig and his cast are gonna be petty and claim Paige used him and like, oh, she was so mean, they just need the whole cast, I'm including everyone, just a nice girl. We're not gonna say she didn't cheat, but it's weird that she's already hanging out with the boys, right? Fuck that whole cast. Fuck the whole cast. Goodbye. Because Vanita, I think, has said, like, no way Paige would cheat on Craig. Like, she was a little open about it. I think Leva has been, too.
Vanita has not said anything against Craig. She's just said that she has texted Paige saying, like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. And Craig is like, we're not friends anymore. It's like, okay.
He's drawing the line. So, like, okay, Madison's clearly going to be friends with Craig.
Yeah.
And I think Vanita and Paige just line up better. Like, you know what? I don't actually hate this because this is the world we live in. If you don't align on certain like issues in today's world, like you're just not going to be fucking friends. And I think Vanita and Paige align on views of the world happening more than Madison. And what we've seen Madison, she's great TV, love her, but she totally always supports the men. She loves the like
she's a little Miss
boy
Patricia.
phase. She is. And Miss Patricia loves men's bad behavior. She loves making excuses for it. So like that's the side you chose, honey. Enjoy your pregnancy.
Yeah.
I'm not texting you. No. I'm with Paige on this.
That's all my news.
Oh, amazing.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to chumbacasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Reading, I'm still on this this one book. I'm gonna finish it today. I think Meredith has inspired me not to go grocery shopping.
Love that.
So
I am pro getting them delivered.
I could do that. I also could do that. I'm being lazy.
Treat yourself.
Because I always get the guy that's like, oh, they're out of romaine, so I'm gonna get you arugula. And it's
I
like,
make
no,
them
no.
send me so many photos. I'm like,
I don't
show
have
me the
time.
entire section so I can point
I
out
might
where the
just
hell
go.
this is.
There's like an expensive little grocery store
We can get a
next
few
door.
things.
I might just get a few things to hold me over.
I like that.
Like produce that's going bad and stuff. And then I'll do like my real shopping when it's not raining because it's also gonna rain. So like
that's miserable.
grocery shopping in the rain. But I'm planning on finally finishing The Daughter of No World. I know it's taken me a long time. I actually have not been reading as much.
Don't rush. There is no rush on this podcast. It's just what you are enjoying.
I know. And I am enjoying it. The thing I've actually really loved is while I watch March Madness, because there was a lot of commercials, I'll read during the commercials, which is actually kind of fun. Or if the game's like slow, like last night it got to a blowout, so I started reading
recommend
a little
people who struggle with reading to do that. I used to do it with my high school reading lists, like the books you didn't want to read. I would just read during commercials, and 4 pages a few pages every once in a while really builds up.
I'm also getting to the point where there's just like a lot of battles and a lot of bad things happening. So I don't know how other people feel. I need to read like one bad thing and then I need a break. I just need to give me a second. Also, I think I'm rooting for the wrong side on this book, which I think is where,
by wrong side, do you mean like against what popular opinion is, or?
I don't know, because this book isn't that popular where there's like opinions like ACOTAR. It's not that level, but I told you how this book, there's like 3 different points of view.
Mhm.
The 2 we've had since the beginning. And then there was this new
The time jump,
character.
right?
Yes, where I thought this warrior was like in the real world, but actually she was from a long time ago. And then she was turned into this monster, and now she's like back as a warrior. Like now we're back in the real world. She's a fae. The other 2 are human.
Mhm.
And they're basically battling. And the humans are like, we just want to live cohesively. We just want to stop. We want our freedom. We don't want slaves. We just all want to live cohesively.
Yeah.
The fae are like, absolutely not, because the humans have been trying to like extinct us for years at this point. Because the fae live to be like 500 or whatever.
Yeah.
The humans don't, obviously. But like human society is so afraid of what they don't know. So they like just kill it. And also this woman who was a fae was like captured for 500 years to use as a weapon for the humans. So she was like a slave for the humans. So now that she's back, they're out for blood. They're like, we want to wipe out the entire human race. And I'm rooting for that. Honestly, I'm rooting for the wipeout of the entire human race. And I think that's the wrong side of the book. I think we're supposed to be like, oh, I hope they can like.
Yeah, but the humans captured her. So like, I understand the revenge.
Yeah, it sucks it wasn't like these specific humans, but I get where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then there's people who are like, we got to overthrow the fake king. And I'm like, don't you dare touch that fake king. Let him fucking live his. I am so deep in fae. And then when I go to the humans, I'm like, I don't care about living cohesively. Like, let's just, sorry that things are happening. Just like, I hope you guys can just understand where the fae are coming from. But I have a feeling it's not going to go my way. That's where I'm at.
Yikes.
I don't know. Obviously, they wouldn't put this fae's perspective, this warrior fae, if I wasn't supposed to sympathize with her. But I'm like, I
think you're supposed to feel a little bit more complex than you feel.
Yeah, for the humans. I'm in.
You're supposed to be like me, and I really see her side and like that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, I'm rooting for the humans' way of life, but I see where the fae are coming from. I'm fully like, have the fae come on. Fuck the humans. Fuck those humans. Hell yeah. So I will finish it today, though. I have like maybe less than 30%. On my Kindle. I hate that it's Jeff Bezos, but I've had this Kindle for years, so
I understand that.
Until it dies. When it dies, I'm not gonna buy another Kindle. I'll buy a different e-reader. But until that day, I'm stuck. I'm stuck on this Jeff Bezos Kindle. So, but I'll finish it. So that's where I'm at with my reading. Very and then fun. If I want to do, now that it's Q2, the Q1 didn't really work out, but Q2, I want to have our book club. I messaged, no one answered really until end of Q1, and I was like, we're already there. So Q2 book club.
You should throw in like post 3 suggestions and people can
I did that last time and no one responded. So I'm going to bring up this.
The messaging is hard in Patreon because it doesn't give great notifications. So
terrible. Well, I'm saying it now for all who listen. If you're a $5 patron, go check out the book club. I'm going to put a few thoughts. Maybe I'll take
Make it a dedicated
too.
Post because I think people see those more.
Oh, okay. I'll do that too.
Yeah.
So we are just going to have to pick a book for book club then.
Fun.
I also have another book club. I got to read that book. Falling behind.
Big reader Alicia on her Alicia's book club.
She's in kind of a slump. She hasn't been cranking them out like she used to. So those rugby books put me to shame. I read those in 2 days.
But you were also skipping some of the stories, I think, right?
Not Joey's story.
No,
I read every word of that. But the
like,
other ones, yeah.
We're
I was
done here.
I was fucking, fuck that, you know?
Oh my God.
Anyway, let's get to watching.
Let's do it.
I'm watching a lot.
What are you watching?
Oh, let's go right into Bravo. I'm watching Southern Charm, the last reunion.
I almost didn't watch that second one because I was like, I hate these people.
Craig gave off big Sandoval energy. Big Sandoval in the sense that he can't take accountability for anything.
And I feel like he does feel like he's above all these people, especially Austin. Like, I'm not an Austin lover, but I do see Austin's side in their friendship.
I feel bad for Austin, dude.
Like, he has one martini with Rod and, like, Craig's all over his ass. I would not be friends with him.
No.
But Austin's such a little bitch. He won't cut off the friendship either.
I've always said, though, I don't know how Paige dated Craig. He's such an ick.
Can we talk about that? Because the internet is always like, the Paige side of the internet is like, if all these men feel this way and Craig is treating them like this, imagine what Paige was going through.
No, literally. The fact that everyone on the show was afraid of Craig. Imagine how Paige we see is afraid to bring up her fucking work with Craig.
Yes.
Because he's such a psycho.
Like, Austin, he is so dismissive of everything you do, so rude about things you're doing. I couldn't.
The fact that he was even gonna lowball Austin for the podcast was like rude.
You are his business partner and he doesn't respect you in business. What do you think he thinks about Paige's podcast?
No, literally. What's it called when like people can't gauge your emotions? Like, is that a sociopath a little bit? I think Craig has a little bit of that in him where he can't see other people, like what he's doing is hurting other people. I don't think he has a lot of,
I don't think he can see other people's perspective.
He doesn't have a lot of emotional intelligence.
Because I think we've, and I do this all the time too, but in an actual setting, I think we've gotten a little far from like calling everybody a narcissist and everybody a sociopath. And I think we need to like boil it down to like people have narcissistic tendencies. Not everybody is a narcissist, just in a general sense. But yes, I think Craig lacks empathy and lacks like the perspective of what other people are seeing. And it's only about him, which is so frustrating.
Yeah. He lacks the ability to like take ownership and understand. Like he was literally arguing with Andy about like how he behaved. The craziest part was when Andy's like, we have this montage of you lying.
Like, let's roll it back again. We already played this during the season.
Craig goes, I'll walk you through it. That's crazy. That was, I out loud
and
laughed.
When Shep was like, hey, it's okay to look at this stuff. This was years ago. We're not saying you are this now. That's what's crazy to me is these are lies from 6 to 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to be like, wow, Craig, you're a terrible person because you lied. Like that was something embarrassing.
Yeah.
I understand lying about that. I don't think anybody has a problem with you lying about that stuff anymore. We get it.
I don't care. Yeah, but he's crazy. This man is like dangerous.
He just has a unique relationship with the truth that I don't have.
So crazy.
I lie a lot. I do a lot of little white lies just about stupid stuff for no reason. And if somebody called me out on it, especially past stuff, it's like, yeah, no, that.
Yeah.
I was telling a tall tale there.
Yeah. No, that. And then they were all like, you tend to exaggerate. He still didn't apologize for JT with the whole bitch comment, which everyone was like, he didn't say that. And Craig's like, no, he did. And
that's
like, it's not
so
on camera.
hard to then confront him with, because when you have him actually lying on camera, he explains it away. Mm-hmm. So this wasn't caught on, well, because it doesn't exist. So Craig will continue to perpetuate that it did happen, which I just think is wild. Like Craig can't even say like, hey, we have to agree to disagree here. I don't think, like, no, I think you said something like this and you think you don't. So like, let's move forward. Craig needs to be 100% right about this.
It's so weird. He couldn't just be like, yeah, he never said that. Because JT owned it. He's like, what I said about Madison, I shouldn't have said. He obviously like pedaled backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
But he did own that. Like, all right, I understand. I get that.
Yeah, like I didn't treat you right, and I can own that.
Yeah. And Madison appreciated that. JT did a lot of owning up that Craig like cannot do. Craig is like, and I don't understand the people that are like, oh, Paige is going to regret it when they see how hot Craig is and how much he has to offer a woman. What? Gaslighting her? What does he have to offer besides a bunch of pillows and a beehive? Like,
well, I mean,
this man would drive me nuts.
In this reunion, it was taped mid-February, and Craig says he's not dating anybody. But then on Watch What Happens Live, he said he started talking to somebody in February.
Some girl named Natalie. Natalie, why? This is equivalent to the girl who started dating Tom Sandoval. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let these men live in their consequences for a little bit longer. Stop rewarding these men. Also, Craig would drive me nuts. I would rather, I think in this day and time, right now, April of 2025, I would rather, put it on the record, date Shep before I would date Craig.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, and Shep's
I think I could
too.
have a good time with Shep just on a
I think I
day-to-day
could have
basis.
Intelligent conversations.
Which,
I think
yes.
if I was upset, he would see where I'm coming. I would obviously be ready to fall in love with him, and then he would leave me the minute that happens for someone younger, probably.
But that's easier to digest than like the constant gaslighting from Craig.
Yes. Craig would drive me nuts.
Because Shep
every
does
day.
understand how his actions do affect people. So you are able to have a productive conversation about how he hurt you or what's happening. And like, he may not change. He may still cheat on you, but like, and do bad things. But like, at least you could have some resolve in what is going on and what has happened.
And Taylor's the main one, but for anyone, he really doesn't speak badly about people. Even Taylor, he talks about her
he's
in the
human, so
highest
he
regard.
has, but he like regrets it. He's like, you know what? That was low of me.
But like Taylor, he's really never, even today, been like even at the reunion they broke up, he was like, Taylor's a lovely girl.
Yes.
I did this. And he kind of sometimes doesn't even have reasons for why he did it. He lives in his consequences, right? He does.
Yes.
Even that girl, who was it, Sienna? He doesn't said a bad word about her. He totally could have just like killed her character. And he never did. He was like, yeah, I talked about her freckled little lips and it was weird. And now we're here, you know? Like, I would rather date Austin at this point in time. And he's dating a girl, which that Pookie was weird. That whole thing was crazy. Craig would drive me on a day-to-day basis absolutely nuts. This man drives me insane.
I also think we are so independent, similar to Paige, that Craig is a little bit more emotionally needy, which is okay, but that doesn't jive with us either.
No.
I can't have a partner like that. And I think it slowly comes out because when you're pursuing someone and it's exciting and like everybody puts on a certain front of who they are, but then your emotional and like physical needs are a little bit more concrete as the relationship goes on. And so I think who Craig is in a long-term relationship is also just, that's the version I can't deal with. I think I could be like Paige, probably persuaded in that first 6 months, the excitement, because I think Craig could be exciting the first 6 months.
Yeah. But still, he would drive me nuts. This guy is such an ick. I would date any of the men on Southern Charm before Craig. Any of them. Did you notice how Ryan wasn't at the reunion?
I did clock that.
Sorry, I had it.
No, I'm so happy you brought that up because I find that so weird. I'm comparing it to like what Bailey is to the Summer House cast and what Ryan is. Ryan got a full cast photo.
Yeah. And
I found that weird in general from the first episode because he just doesn't talk a lot. So why wasn't he just like a friend of who was just kind of around?
He had one moment and it had to do with JT at the end and nothing happened from it.
Do you think?
Oh, it was the black woman comment.
Yeah. Do you think maybe they did bring him to the reunion and cut him? Because we've had that happen with like a friend of. Actually, no, because there were no photos of him. Usually we will get like from.
We even got Miss Patricia and she was there for 10 seconds.
Well, like I know I think like Real Housewives of Orange County, they once had a friend of who did film the reunion, but all of the segments got cut from the like end edit, but there were photos that person posted of them at the reunion. Like Ryan never posted something was filmed and then his stuff just got cut.
Ryan was too boring.
So boring.
Truly. And then one more thing. Two more things. Sorry. I love Molly. I am shipping Molly and Shep so hard.
But I need them to slow burn. I don't need this to be forced on us.
The tuba thing, I called it when she played the tuba and he was like, it's really sexy when girls play. He even say sexy because, Shep is educated. He was like, it's truly like so attractive when someone can play a musical instrument. I love that he values
real qualities of people.
He is so high society.
This is what I love about Southern Charm.
I know, and she's over here playing a tuba, which is like the least high society instrument.
And in like a fun like club band. Like
she's playing a tuba and they got all dressed up. And Shep was so excited.
So into it.
He loves live music. He grew up on Beethoven and Mozart, this guy. He can appreciate a good musician, including a tuba player.
But the thing is he grew up on really nice stuff, but doesn't have this air that he he's educated and like knows this stuff, but he doesn't think he's better than like going to Molly's show.
No, I think Shep really, I think, appreciates if you have some sort of like a hobby that you're passionate about that brings like culture to the world. Like if you're into art, that's great. Even if you're painting like I don't know, like fruit, something that like doesn't really impact, he could be like, wow, like you really are bringing something into society, right? She's playing like band tuba and he's like, you're bringing music into society.
Yes.
That's amazing. You're passionate about something. I loved after when he was like, let me get you a drink, because that was amazing. Like he was so, and then they were
Shep.
sitting next to each other and they even hooked up after, because they kissed in the last episode. Me kicking my little feetsies. They kissed in the last episode and she made the first move. She leaned right on in.
I think you have to make the first move with Shep, because I think he is kind of awkward that he doesn't do good at that.
But those two nerds all night were talking about, she really brings out a side, like a silly side of Shep.
Yeah, I agree.
That like Taylor even didn't really bring out, right? The two of them, they would talk about,
because they didn't align on that stuff.
Yeah, whereas Molly will be like her really weird self, and Shep will meet her right there.
And I think
which
Molly,
is also fun.
Like you said, like she also appreciates it and she doesn't know as much as he does. And so I think she wants to learn about it too. So she would ask him questions and he just loves to talk about it. Whether you know something or don't, like he is all in.
But he's not going to mansplain. He's going to genuinely like share his knowledge with you.
Like in excitement. Yeah.
I know she's going to eat it up.
I'm sad.
But then if we get to her level too, if she's like, yeah, I love playing the tuba. He's like, tell me more about the tuba. Like he genuinely wants to know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so... They were sitting next to each other.
Because like after filming, he said that he went to like the Caribbean for a while and was traveling. And I'm like, no, I needed this to blossom in the off season. I can't
with her.
have this just being forced on the show, because that isn't authentic enough. It's okay if you guys aren't dating in the off season, but I need to know that you guys have like hung out and like have these moments off camera to keep the ball rolling.
I don't know. They just clicked so well. And he knows she likes him, which I also respect about Shep, is he doesn't make it awkward. If he doesn't, I think he's genuinely trying to like figure himself out a little bit. But she's lovely. She's from Charleston, which I think really sits well with Shep, because she kind of knows this world, even if she's not as high society as he is. She's so silly. They brought up the fucking tuba at the reunion, and he's like, it was amazing. And I was sitting there like, if they don't fall in love.
Also, I love the addition of Molly, like we just discussed. I think Sally was a great addition as well.
I think Sally this was my other point, was Sally... Get Taylor off my screen. Sally was way better. She's not dating that guy anymore. The weirdo, they call him.
Yes.
I thought he was hot. That one episode we got him.
I just find it so, I mean, Taylor's always so hypocritical that she will be so mad that Sally has any comments about her boyfriend, about Sally's experience with Taylor's boyfriend. But Taylor can say everything she wants about Shep and their old relationship.
And she does talk about Sally half the time. Sally would be like, stop talking about me. And she'd be like, you stop talking about me. And Sally's like, I am not literally haven't. I don't care about.
And you took advantage of my fractured friendships, Taylor. She doesn't have to take advantage of that. Why would she want to capitalize on you being a terrible person? And you are not in this group as well as you think you are.
Taylor is not exciting. Get her off my screen. I know they only brought her back because we had to see how her and Shep would interact as exes. I don't care.
No, but if Olivia's not here, I don't care about Taylor.
I don't need Taylor here. Truly. Shout out Vanita, who was asked like if you could bring back one Southern Charm member, who would it be? She said my girl Olivia Flowers. Keep Sally though. Sally gives me some. She's like fresh faced and ready. I also was cracking up when Andy's like, how do we say your boyfriend's name? Taylor, is it Gaston? Because it's like a little French thing.
It's funny.
And she's like, Andy, it's Gaston, like from the Beauty and the Beast. Like we all should know. Everyone has said his name 12 different times. Gaston, Gaston.
It's a bit now on the internet. So that is something funny to play into for Andy. Like she cannot take a joke about her relationship when it has like, it's not personal. It's just something stupid and lighthearted.
And also like Gaston's not on the show,
which I hate.
She brings him up all the time.
So
that gives us the right to talk about it, baby. You're giving us that right.
When we are talking about something rather than actually experiencing it, it drives me nuts.
You want me to support you and Gaston as like a watcher? I don't know who Gaston
Because
is.
if he never filmed, never did anything, and he truly lived on the sidelines fully, I understand being frustrated that your relationship is being brought up and Sally's talking about this.
But he'll film with you, but no one else.
And then Taylor was like, it's just really frustrating because then I can't introduce my boyfriend to this group. You gave them all the opinions of that. Taylor, you've been dating that man for a year and a half and you hadn't introduced him to your friends? That's on you, babe. That's on you.
Her friends, too. She was like, I was friends with them first. Okay.
You had plenty of time to introduce them.
And now you're not. Because you fucked Austin or whatever you did with him. I don't remember. Kissed Austin. Who cares?
That could have been your storyline this season. Introducing your boyfriend in like one-on-one or small groups and like Sally's not there.
Rebuilding the friendships. No, you just were like, I'm going to walk in. It's all going to be fine. Get fucked, Taylor Ann Green. Goodbye. Get her off my screen. Get her off. Anyway. Did you watch Beverly Hills this week?
I didn't, but tell me what happened. Because this was only a 2 reunion, right?
No.
A 2-parter?
I think we still have one more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We didn't end it.
Okay, never mind.
Garcelle's coming under heat.
What for?
She's coming under heat. The Dorit stuff. It's
the break-in.
The break-in is talked about.
I kind of believe. I don't think Dorit set it up, but this is a conspiracy theory I kind of want to unravel. Is like I think there's more to it than just a standard break-in.
Yeah, Dorit brought up like, how could you think I would do that? And Garcelle's like, I never said you, but I didn't think it was real.
There's
and she's like,
weird things about it.
How could you think like PK would do that? And Garcelle's like, I never said PK did it either specifically. I just said, and Garcelle said, I don't think you had anything to do with it, but there was some suspicious activity. But that was under heat, which Garcelle said, like, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, well, you are wrong. And she goes, great, then I will be wrong. But like, I'm not going to apologize for believing this. And everyone's like, no, apologize for what you believe.
What's
and she's like,
wild to me is, I understand the break-in is more painful than the thing I'm about to compare it to, but Dorit gets so fired up when somebody talks about the break-in because that was a traumatic experience to her. Yeah. Totally get it. But Dorit cannot understand that talking about Sutton's drinking is very triggering to her. Yeah. And so like, why does she get to constantly bring up Sutton's drinking and have no repercussions, but somebody can't ask questions about the break-in?
Yeah, so she was under fire for that, which the best way to just end an argument to make everyone else look stupid in this scenario is like when everyone's like, well, you're wrong. And she goes, then if I'm wrong, period. Yep. And everyone's like, we don't know what to do with that. We're just going to keep yelling at you. So Garcelle got a lot of heat from that. She got some heat from Bose because I think Garcelle on the show said something like, oh, Dorit and I don't get along. So like Bose is friends with Dorit. Bose is going to not like me. And Bose was like, if you think that what Dorit says about you could affect my opinion, you don't think very highly of yourself. She came under fire from Erica, who said Garcelle's just not interesting.
From the girl who literally her only storyline was redecorating her cabana, and we never even did like a group event there. I thought the finale party was going to be at her like house.
Also, everyone on this cast is interesting. You have to have some B-list. Erica was a B-list this season. One day, Garcelle may become the A-list.
A B-list tell another B-list, you're boring.
She got under fire from Kyle about how, because there's that whole thing where Sutton thinks very highly of Kyle and no matter, like, holds Kyle to a higher standard.
I have a friend like interaction like this where my friend just
holds you to a higher standard.
No. Just like let somebody else off the hook for like all this bullshit stuff. And I'm like, why do we accept that? Like, why do you accept this? I don't.
So there was like that whole thing where they were arguing, and Sutton again didn't really have Garcelle's back with that whole thing. So Garcelle really, they took a break, and she was like, I didn't expect everyone to fucking come for me, because we really didn't hit on much else except like PK and Dorit's marriage, and then the rest was like on Garcelle.
Which is
it was
wild
a firing from her.
because that's not how the season was. I don't like when the reunion is disconnected from the season.
Yeah, it was weird. And then, I mean, we did talk about PK and Dorit, which again, I don't love Dorit as a person, but this season she cracked me up. I enjoyed Dorit. It was like how she said that PK's not a good father. And Kyle was like, I've never seen that behavior with PK. You know, like, and Dorit's like, you wouldn't though, because your relationship is just memes, right? So is that whole thing where Kyle is now
memes
like
and jokes is
Kyle's like team PK. Oh, and when Dorit said like, oh, PK's on his journey with sobriety, Kyle was like, I didn't like that you said that, because I know what it's like to call someone an alcoholic on TV. So speaking from experience with like Kim, you shouldn't do that, because it's more harmful.
I'm sorry, you don't get to be holier than thou about
when
things you've done.
Yeah, and Dorit said, I never called him an alcoholic, and they're like, but you insinuated.
But he is. But he is.
Dorit also said PK gave me permission to talk about his sobriety journey. The other drama is PK was invited to the reunion. He declined, made a very public statement about how it would do no one any good to like just argue a he said, she said kind of thing.
I think that's smart.
Because he is a good father and all this stuff, and like it would just be useless. And Dorit was like, yeah, whatever. You know, they aren't getting back together anytime soon. But like PK sucks, dude, from the beginning.
I don't think Dorit said anything crazy about him being a bad dad. Like she didn't say he was like a deadbeat and does nothing. She's just saying like, I covered for him when he was being a bad dad.
The way she said it was kind of crazy when Kathy was like, I assume PJ is a good dad or whatever. And Dorit like, sits there and goes, wrong. That was hilarious.
Great.
But like, yeah, I don't think...
She didn't like PK, drag him and pull out all this dirty laundry. She was just saying like, you traveled a lot and left me hanging with all the parenting responsibilities.
And if he was also drinking a lot, like, come on, that's not the best environment for young children. It's not.
I do think he like shows up and is a dad and is present, but do I think he's the best dad? No, but guess what? I bet in this sobriety journey, you are doing better.
You're getting better. Yeah. So he didn't come. Kyle clearly, I hate Kyle. She's like, I've always seen good things from PK. Okay, then you go date him. Then go date him. Get fucked, Kyle. Literally,
it's just
get
so
fucked.
Weird to me because it's not like, you know how like Lisa and PK had a relationship outside of the show beforehand. So like if Lisa was still on this saying like, hey, this is the PK I know, all this stuff.
That's fine.
But you know him through his wife through this show.
You're friends with his wife.
You didn't have a long-standing relationship before the show, before they got married, like all this stuff. So who are you to say the experiences of it being a friend versus her experiences as his wife and as his like parenting partner? You aren't involved in that.
No, literally. So that's what happened. It was rough. I see why Garcelle walks off and doesn't want to come back. And I see why Erica and Bose are like, I wish she came back based off how it was ended. I get that now.
So is Garcelle done? Like she doesn't come back, we think?
Right. From where we ended it, they're on a break. Okay. And Garcelle she's trying to hold her tears in. So that's where we're at. So. But it was crazy.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Are you watching anything?
I binged so hard Temptation Island on
good.
Netflix because my coworker / friend told me it was really good. And I'd seen some online chatter about how these men are terrible. And so
Okay.
I was like, all right, let me do this. I'd never watched the show before. I know you and
This
I
is a
talked
first season, right? A first new season.
on Netflix. I guess it
Okay.
used to be, I think you said it was on Hulu. Like there's past seasons.
No, it's on Peacock.
Oh,
now.
okay.
It was on it wasn't on like a main cable channel, but it was on cable.
Oh.
And then Peacock picked it up.
Okay. Well, I knew kind of the broader idea of you're in a relationship, you go to this show, and you might cheat on your partner.
This is your last chance to it's people who are stuck in relationships.
Yeah, they have something like they want to challenge in their relationship. What I didn't realize is how few couples there are. I thought it was
There's 4 couples or something like that.
I thought it was more like the ultimatum where you are with each other, or there's so many couples. So
you like switch?
Yeah, or I don't really know how the people in a relationship linked up with other people. I didn't know that interaction. Yeah. So it's 4 couples, the guys and girls. For anybody who watches Love Island, it's Casa Amor basically for 3 weeks where you're in another house. But I didn't realize how many of the opposite sex singles would be in the house.
Like 20.
The ratio was off. It's 4 to 10. And then they kicked out 2 people, and then they added 2 new people.
Yeah.
And so you really had a high chance of like finding a connection.
And Mark something Wahlberg.
Mark L. Wahlberg, which I saw that thinking Mark Wahlberg was coming on this show.
Yuck. No, this is the good Mark Wahlberg. He always says too, like, we have selected these people that we think are meant for you. So like that's
interesting. They like get their types.
Yeah, they screen the couples
I didn't realize that.
What made you fall in love with your partner, but what's your type? What kind of people are you into? Oh my God,
that makes so much sense.
So if someone's like, I really like a fitness girl who's really educated, they'll find like a Stanford athlete and like put her in here.
That makes so much sense because there was in one of the couples, there was like an Italian guy, loves soccer, all this stuff. And there was like his copy paste in the house with his girlfriend. That's
why the singles, because if you come at this from like a random single, the chances of you falling in love with someone who had like a 10-year relationship, that's crazy. But it's because it's like where these guys we think, and they don't tell you which ones are which. They want you to figure it out on your own. But they tell the singles too. They're like, there's a guy in this house that is so close to your perfect match.
Whoa, I didn't realize that. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. I'm sure there are
a few randos to cause like drama.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I decided from the beginning, if you go on this show and you're in a relationship, you have to just assume you're getting cheated on, right?
They all make rules, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like 3 out of 4 couples were like no physical touching. I'm like, come on, that is not happening.
Yeah, well, they show the screen. You see the
yes. So like for anybody who hasn't watched, you're in your separate houses, and then once an episode, which I think is like every 3 days, because they're separated for 3 whole weeks, which is enough time. I think that's a perfect amount of time to like get into some shit.
I agree.
They do these bonfires and you get to see clips from the other house. It was wild to watch. I mean, obviously the men are going to fall first, but it is wild to watch the men spiral about words being said about them in the other house while they're actively kissing and sleeping with women in their house. And they act like these women are the worst thing that's ever walked the world. Like their partners in the other house for saying like, yeah, I can't believe like the devil would give me this guy. Like the universe really gave me a trash man. And he's like, how dare she say that?
Yeah. Yeah, they really, the men don't get better on the Peacock version either.
So in this season on Netflix, we had Grant and Ashley, and 3 out of 4 of the couples, the person, somebody cheated in the relationship a month in, but now they've like either had a year or 2-year relationship where you're like, okay, you got to get past that if you're going to stay. We always say that, like, if you're going to forgive, like you got to move past it.
Yeah.
So like 3 out of 4 of these couples are like, this is my chance. To be honest, it's the guy. This is my chance to prove to you that you can trust me and I won't cheat and I can have female friendships, or like I want to explore about me in a relationship, maybe from an emotional side with these women, but I won't cross that physical barrier.
Yeah, of course not.
So Grant is like that. And Alicia, worst person I've ever seen in my life. It's so painful the entire way through. I watched all 10 episodes. They didn't have a reunion. So Nick Viall asked all these people to come, and they did a 2.5-hour podcast episode, which like reunions need to be longer for these Netflix shows, because like I wanted to get into all this stuff and like I wanted to know the crash out since the show aired.
Okay.
And Grant is the one who his girl talked, like said, I can't believe the universe would send me such a trash man. And he spiraled, even though he had already kissed a girl in his house. He spirals even more, fucks his like new girl in the shower, turns the lights off, and the new girl's like, they will still see this.
Yep.
Of course, that's shown at the next bonfire. And so Ashley, his girlfriend, is like, all right, I'm done. Like, we're not doing this. I'm not in a relationship anymore. I am actively pursuing.
Yep.
So then in Grant's interviews, in the clips that Ashley keeps seeing, he's like, I just hope that we can make it out of this okay. Like, I just love her so much. I still want to marry her. And Ashley's sitting in her bonfires being like, I'm sorry. You were actively sleeping with this other girl, Natalie, but in your interviews are saying you still love me and you think we're going to be okay. Like, how are you that delusional?
Yep.
It was
these men are
frustrating.
Like, it's fine. She already took me back once.
Yes, but I felt so bad for the new girl, Natalie, because Grant would crash out at these bonfires. And because he was so insecure and his ego was like bruised, he would then swing the pendulum to the left so hard with Natalie and be like, it's you, I love you, because he like needed his ego to be soothed.
Uh-huh.
So it was so painful to watch. And his after the show is the craziest, Alicia. So after the show, or like at the last bonfire, Ashley, the original girlfriend, is like, I am leaving with my new guy. Like, she found a guy who was really sweet to her. Their relationship doesn't end up working out, but like they are still really good friends. Grant is devastated at the final bonfire that they are not leaving together. And it's like, you literally were fucking this other girl the entire time. It looked like I thought he was going to leave with his new girl. He chooses to leave alone and is like sobbing, which is so enjoyable to watch. And then they end the show. Ashley and her new guy, they quickly realize like in the real world, this just isn't it. But he's a great guy, like very nice. And Grant is like, are you dating Danny? Are you into him? And she's like, nothing is happening with the old guy. And Grant now, after the season aired, for like 6 months is trying to win Ashley back. And apparently he did change some stuff. He did reflect on some stuff. He like talked to her family. He was like really working on trying to get Ashley back. They decide to date again this past winter over the holidays. They dated for a little bit. And Ashley got to a point where she was like, I will not ever get past the cheating and what happened on the show. So like, we need to break up. And so she just came to that like resolution and was like, this relationship isn't for us. Let's end it and move on. And of course he's like, you didn't appreciate the work I did. And she was like, that it's not that. I really do think you changed. I can't get past this. It's a me thing. We don't work. So then the show's about to come out, and obviously Grant is like crashing out hard. And he had messaged...
The men just cannot.
I know. He had messaged Leah from Love Island saying, I had a similar experience to you. I hope I get a similar edit, like all this stuff. And it's like, you didn't. You are so delusional if you think your experience is similar to Leah's. And Leah was like laughing on a live with Miguel about it, about like Temptation Island, and because they were watching it, and then she checked her DMs and saw Grant's message. So then, their photos drop, the episodes start dropping, and Grant is spiraling about what is happening. And he's so, again, his ego is bruised by Ashley about what she's doing in the house. It's funny little TikTok she's making, just like joking about, oh, I have 2 boyfriends because she liked 2 guys in her house. And she's friends with them now. So she like made videos that had actually nothing to do with Grant, but he was like, you did that to purposely hurt me. Like, how dare you like joke about my progress? And she's like, I never once joked about it. I literally told like a PR interview, like, he did a lot of work. He like has changed a lot, but like we are not together. Like,
Yeah.
she did credit like what he did in the 6 months since the show ended and when they tried to date. But his ego is so hurt if she posts about another guy still. They're not dating. They haven't been dating for like 3 months. And he spiraled so hard on the internet, then starts bashing her. He like called her a whore. He like called her when she was on live, screamed at her. And like all of that was captured on a live. He goes online and like pumps up Natalie, his like new girl who he like never dated, and was like, she was amazing. I loved her so much. Like, I really regret what I did with Ashley because like I really could have tried something with Natalie. And it's like, do you not realize what you are doing here? And he's like, yeah, but she made a TikTok about 2 boyfriends.
Oh my God. See, this is the show. This is Temptation Island's awesome.
I'm like, I can't imagine living in a world where you think everything everybody is doing is they're out to get you. And then your ego is so fragile and your self-worth is so fragile that then you spiral so hard. And another guy was like, you make decisions when you are at your peak emotions. And then you like have this come down where you obviously regret it, but then you get so defensive about it because your ego again, and you just like spiral yourself up again. And it happens again. Like they would be, Grant would literally do a full spiral and he'd be the only one talking. And Nick would interject or Natalie would be like, okay, but do you see how like that has nothing to do with you? Or you have been broken up for 3 months. So she doesn't owe you. He was always like, you are not a loyal person, like clearly. And they're like, why does she owe you loyalty in the 3 months since you've broken up? Like she did have loyalty to you in your relationship. What does her posting a TikTok not about you have to do with her loyalty now that she doesn't owe you?
The show's so good.
And he'd be like, I learned how to like not care about her opinion. I've learned that I don't care about her opinion now. And they were like, but you do.
This show gets the worst couples, dude. So you have to watch. I would recommend at least watching season 1 of Temptation Island on Peacock because it truly put this show on the map.
Oh my God.
I won't give you too much, but there's a couple that enters Temptation Island. They've been together for 10 years.
I've seen
You've
TikTok.
seen the crash out, I'm sure.
I've seen a TikTok that the girl posted where, you know, the like, what's your favorite horror story? And she was like, I don't know, how about...
When she went on Temptation Island, she got left with this guy and she like begged for it. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
But it was another like, I cheated on her and I want to show her that like, I'm not going to do it. And he falls hard for this other girl. And the problem is you go in and you're like, this girlfriend is crazy. You're like, she's nuts. I hate her. By the end, I was like, this girlfriend is a star. How could he do this to her? But she does. She begs for him back at that final.
No.
Oh, and he's like, I'm leaving with the other girl. But then he steals a bunch of her money, so it's fine. But you got to watch.
Wait, there's money involved?
No, once they lived together. He was with the new girl and he like stole her money and stuff. It was crazy.
I don't get why the guys would go on this show because from a perspective of like, oh, we're on reality TV to like get famous.
Yeah.
Cheating on your girlfriend, whether you guys, because some couples like go in and they were already broken up, they say, but whatever. But like it comes off as you are cheating on your girlfriend. Most girls watch reality TV. And so your audience is going to be girls.
You look terrible.
So why do you think you're going to get people to follow you on this? I don't get the like business play for the guys.
I don't know. It's truly weird. It's a weird show, but season 2, there's a guy that, you know, he cheats, totally cheats. You got to watch season 2 too. It's so good. He totally cheats. Then the girl finds out, obviously, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to like start exploring connections. And she actually like genuinely starts to like someone different. Yeah. And then the guy cannot believe he begs for her back he's like sobbing. He's like, how could you do this?
That's what I wish.
You literally
I had none
cheated.
Of those.
Oh my God. It was so, you got to watch it's on Peacock, all like 6 seasons. It's so good.
I'm excited.
But then did you ever get the TikToks about Temptation Island Spain?
No.
Oh man, I need to get a VPN for Spain. I followed this girl who
Damn.
explained everything to me because I couldn't figure out how to watch it. But basically, it became famous because there was this guy named Montoya. Keep in mind, it's all in fast, angry, passionate Spanish because the Spaniards are so passionate. He's at the bonfire. Or it's like a one-on-one. It was weird. It was just him and the host, and he's like seeing something on the iPad, and he's watching live his girlfriend fuck another man. And so he sprints down the beach to go to the other villa, which is like not allowed, and he starts screaming, "How could you do this to me? You slut!" And he goes into the villa. She hears him mid-fuck. So she like comes out of the room and she's like,
God.
"What's happening?"
Oh my
and so
God.
they're yelling at each other. I think her name's Anita. It's so crazy. And she's yelling at him and he's like, "You'll never forget this." And he gets down on the sand. The host, also a woman, is chasing him in sand and heels. So she doesn't make it in time. She gets him after he is in, like, the waves are coming up on the beach, hitting him. He's all wet. He's on his hands and knees. "Why did this happen to me?" And this host is like, "Get up. You weren't allowed to do that."
That's
and
crazy.
She's like, "Montoya, back to the fire pit." And then Anita becomes the victim because obviously Montoya goes back and like he's like, I'm the victim, which he was. It was very sad. But then he starts to get to know a different girl because he's like, fuck Anita.
Yeah.
So then Anita has to watch him hook up with the nut. He's fucking someone else. And she's like, "How could he do this to me? He's such an asshole." And her
That's, I love the reactionary, like, "Oh, I'm done here. Now I'm going to hook up with somebody."
It was to the point at one point where she couldn't even watch. She like got up and looked away and everyone else watched and they're like, "Oh, he's fucking her." And she's like, I got to believe, and she's crying. And then she would go back to the house, and then Montoya would see another. You would think that they would like just get over each other at that point because Montoya would watch another video.
That's
of
what
her
I love
cheating.
because it's so fresh because it's only 3 weeks. So it does still, even if you don't love that person and you've decided to give up on your relationship, it's not fun to watch your person move on.
But I gotta tell you, the Spanish, it was like Montoya's heartbreak all over again. He's laying on the ground. Why? Anita is doubled over. How could this happen? I'm gonna find the TikToks and send them to you.
I love that.
Because I was all over Montoya. The best was the host chasing him and Montoya! And he's like, "Anita!" He's sprinting down. It was so good. And she's like mid-fuck. It was live. It was so funny. If someone knows how to get me Spanish Temptation
We're going to have to
Island,
figure it out because I'm in.
Yo, Spanish Temptation. It's so passionate.
Yeah.
It was so, and I think they got back together afterward. But I didn't follow totally because, it's in Spanish. And like, I only could get clips. So it was hard to like go
track
back.
it all.
But, oh my God.
One other couple that I think you will find, this isn't like funny in the sense of what happened, but it was just funny to watch it unfold, is one guy and one girl. He like is a much more sexual person than she was in the original couple. And he was like, "I want her to initiate sex. Like I have a high sex drive. And so that's a big conflict for us." And he was like, "And I love threesomes and she doesn't want to do that."
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like, okay.
You guys shouldn't be together then.
Correct. And so it's like, all right, you guys just have a conflict that you guys are not compatible in a sexual way. But he really does like love everything else like she brings to the table. He's just like, he might
have to change if he wants to stay in it.
Correct. So
he might have to give up threesomes.
Her challenge for him, and he agreed, is like, how do I also develop my more emotional connection and like focus on that? So he was kind of like trying to emotionally fall for people and be more vulnerable and learn how to like have that type of relationship. So then he could do that with
he
her.
Wasn't allowed to physically cheat.
Physical boundary on these people as well.
All right. Great.
So then he, in his interviews, I should have counted how many times he said threesome across 10 episodes, because all he would talk about is how much he loves threesomes, how you know, in like past relationships, he would cheat on his partner to have a threesome. He hasn't cheated on his partner to have a threesome, but it's constantly on his mind is what he's
she should be like, sure thing, but I pick the dude. And he's going to be like, no, a woman. And she's like, well,
then you don't want to threesome that bad.
Yeah.
So he is like chatting with people. He's not really crossing any boundaries. And then one night he does go into the bathroom, like a girl closes the bathroom door and he's like, this looks weird, but no, I don't think anything happened. He was like, this is awkward. And that gets spliced and diced and shown up on Fire.
Because they only show a questionable clip.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then she's really sad, obviously, and he's seeing her sad clips. And so he's like, man, she really does love me. I really appreciate that. Like, I need to remember that, like, hey, we may not be compatible on this level, but I do love all these things about her. But as it goes on, he wants his threesome. He is talking about his like preferred like pairings that he would have a threesome with people in this house, actively in this house. And these girls want to fuck up these relationships. Yeah. So two of the girls are like, we have a plan. So they just get naked in his bathroom. His bathroom is the only one without a camera in it. He is standing on his bathroom door and it has like a sliding door and he literally is looking out and he literally locks eyes with every camera in his room and like goes in and closes the door. They have a threesome in his shower. And when the door opens, one of the girls is just like completely naked. He has a towel around him and he locks eyes with one of the cameras and just like nonchalantly like walks out. Of course that gets played at her bonfire, but he is like kind of spiraling about it, but he also is like doubling down in his interview, but at times being like, I know this will hurt her, but I've realized that I don't need threesomes. I want her. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like his original partner gets the clip of him being like, I don't regret it at all. Like, you know, I got it out of my system. This isn't cheating.
Weird thing to like be addicted to like specifically a threesome.
It was so funny to watch, so hurtful. I feel so bad for the other girl, but it was like so funny because he's like, now I got it out of my systems. I realized I don't need threesomes
until the next time you need a threesome.
And then he's like, I think trying to like obviously calm himself down and be like, this isn't a big deal, which isn't okay. But one of the girls is like, you cheated on your girlfriend. Like that is cheating. And he's like, no, cause I want to do that in the normal world. And she's like, no. You can't pick and choose when it matters.
Goodbye.
He does have a lot of remorse and he does like kind of like change his tune and he like starts working on his emotional stuff and like, that's great, whatever. And the other girl like loves him a lot. Like she is crashing out. She won't talk to anybody, any guy. She's like crying in her bed the whole time. Yeah. And she's like, I think I could forgive him for this if he like regretted it. But the problem is I'm only getting clips of him being like doubling down on it. Yeah. And that's really hard. And she also gets a clip of another girl in the house being like, you are so disrespectful to women in this house. And she's like, what the fuck? Not even just like cheating on me. You're also just being a terrible person. What is going on? They stay together. He's like, I love her cooking and I love, she's so sweet and she's a godly woman. And I'm sorry. And she's like,
it's the godly woman for me. It's the godly woman for me. Couldn't be me. Never been described as that. Will never be described as that. Jesus.
Oh my God.
So I'll watch the Netflix one. You got to watch the original.
I'm in.
The crash outs are crazy.
I need to watch that first season because I've heard that girl you talked about the 10 years.
Crazy.
Because I heard he like is so mean to her in the final bonfire. And
he's not necessarily mean, but she's like, dude, 10 years. Like we lived together. You were going to propose. Like, what the fuck? And he is just straight faced. He's like, I want to go see my other girlfriend. Like it hurt.
The TikTok I saw, she said that they had broken up before the show, which seems like also a theme. There's these couples
and he begged for her back.
And so they agreed to go on the show and be respectful. Like she knew he was going to cheat on her by the show standards. And she was fine with that. But she was like, don't disrespect me in such a major way. And she was like,
without question.
Wow.
He definitely did. The second season though too is good. I think those were the only two I've seen, but I currently watched Peacock a lot at work. So I've been watching season 3, which is a lot of fun.
I also have an idea because I need a little bit more fuel on the fire, to be honest, because it does get repetitive and a little boring, just the format. I want either the original couples to have to sit down and have dinner with each other all together so they can like call each other out, or I want all the girls from both houses to get together and all the guys to.
Do they still pick dates in front of each other? They used to do that in the old one. The first and second dates.
That they did.
The 4 boys would be lined up, the 4 girls, and then you would pick openly in front of your partner.
The first date, they pick openly in front of their partner, but nothing else.
Yeah, they did that a few times.
I just need a little bit more of like gossip being like interjected, because seeing a clip is like clear as day. Obviously there's context around it that could change the opinion, but I kind of need the girls to see the girls and be like, in that couple with the threesome couple, like that one girl who said that boyfriend was being disrespectful. It's like, tell me what your version of this is, because like, let me crash out a little harder.
No, I get that. I think later seasons of Temptation Island do have reunions.
I'm shocked Netflix didn't do one.
Oh, I mean, Temptation Island's great. We got to figure out a way to watch Spanish.
Okay.
I gotta get the full Montoya Anita situation.
I'll lock in on that. I'll figure that out.
I'm gonna send you TikToks right after this, because truly, Montoya down the beach.
That is amazing.
Passion. I even showed my dad, and he doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, and he's like, the passion I feel for this man. He's like, did she murder his family? And I'm like, no. She is fucking someone live. And he's like, oh,
that was crazy. A live shot. I would also spiral.
Oh, it was hilarious. So we're a Temptation Island podcast now. Really quick, are you listening to anything?
I only did some the Nick Viall reunion one. So long, but so much infighting. Probably worth it. If anybody did watch Temptation Island, I do recommend listening to the 2.5 hour podcast reunion. Okay. And then I've been listening to Call Her Daddy for like guests that I cared about. Like Lauren Graham was on it from Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. I've been listening to my nutritionist. It's rough out here. I haven't eaten out in a really long time. And when I do, I just get salads. But tomorrow, so I told her I really don't have plans this weekend either. I'm really trying to save some money. And my friends and I are just, we're not doing it. But tomorrow I'm going out with friends to watch the championship game. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to a bar. Like, any suggestions, nutritionist, on like what I should eat? And she goes, you always get the burger, no bun. And I was like, well, here's the thing. I'm going to eat at least half the bun. I'm going to eat one of the buns. And she said, like, you can fill up on the burger, because then if you get like other things, you won't be as hungry. And I was like, no, I get it.
I think she underestimates how much I would be willing to stuff myself.
But here's the thing. I started with her like a week ago, maybe a little over. I started with her last Wednesday, so it's been over a week. I didn't really work out last week because I was sick. Mm-hmm. And so the first time I worked out was Tuesday. From just eating, I'll tell you, she gives me a lot of food to eat, and I'm so sick of it, and some of it's real bad. But I choke it down. I lost like 4 pounds. Really? And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Is this witchcraft?
Huh.
I think it might have been my period. I'm going on that. I'm going, it's not real.
Yes.
But yeah, kind of crazy right there. I was like, whoa. Because even on my period, I only expect like a pound fluctuation. Yeah. 2. No, 4. And I was like, that's kind of crazy. Because I also wasn't working out, and I was eating a shit ton of food.
This also might be completely false, so nobody come for me. But I have also heard when you actually start drinking the right amount of water, your body retains less water because it's not freaking out and trying to hold on to it like a camel, like thinking you're going to never have water again. So you might also be relaxing your body with
I also
water.
Told you about how I peed last week. So I had too much water. My body was like,
no, but your body's like, okay, I'm consistently getting water. I don't have to retain it because I will keep getting it.
Yeah, that sneeze, we can let some water go. Fuck me. That was crazy. So yeah, I've been drinking my water. I've been doing whatever. But tomorrow will be the first day I'm actually like out. I'm eating like out. Yeah. And girly, I'm gonna have half a bun. You can't
Hell yeah. Live your life. It's a celebration.
You can't stop me. If UConn's playing, I can't stop eating. I can't stop eating. I'm too nervous. But I have been making meals, which I actually like isn't that hard, but it is hard. I've grown to really like Greek yogurt more than I thought. I can't have it plain, but it's better on shit. Yeah. Greek yogurt plain's gross. What I will say is she has me make these bran waffles. It's like with this bran flour. Oh, those, she's like, they get better. They're great for weight loss. No, they're not. No, there's no way. Choking those things down. When I tell you it's like a bite and a gulp of water.
No.
Like it's so
I don't want to do stuff
terrible.
like that.
I'm only making them a few times a week. I've been eating a lot of shrimp. I haven't been snacking, which I do miss snacks.
Yeah,
I've been doing really good. But before I like literally wasn't having meals. Like I would just scavenge. So now I'm like making meals, so that probably is pretty good for my body.
Yeah, 100%.
So you know, I'm getting it through.
I'm
Listen
excited
to,
for you.
I won't listen to her tomorrow.
No, come on. I would rather be 5 pounds heavier and live in my life than eating bran waffles every morning. Looking snatched.
Like yesterday I was just watching the game. So I normally would just like order in, but I was like, I don't know what I would want. Right. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, and I should probably try and get something kind of healthy, but like if I'm going to order out, I'm going to get unhealthy. So I was like, I'll just make shrimp. And that's what I did. I just made shrimp and it was fine. So I'm saving a ton of money, but tomorrow my ass will be parked at Fulton Hall. I will be, today, because you're getting this episode today, I am currently at Fulton Hall eating a burger with half a bun and I'm eating my fries. But how do you eat a half a bun? That's crazy too.
You just need to put something on it that you wouldn't eat.
It's all crazy. I'm going to have to eat a burger with a fork and knife. Oh, my God, disgusting. There's no way I'm doing that in front of my friends. How embarrassing. Which she was like, you become really like it's freedom when you tell your friends about it. I was like, I'll tell my friends. But even if you tell me and then you eat a burger with a fork and knife, I'm a little judgy. I'm going to be like a little bit. Like, I don't know. She told me to bring my own snacks. And I was like, I'm going to a bar, girlie. I'm not bringing my snacks.
Oh, my God, no.
So I think it's helping I don't have plans and I'm doing this. But once I start having plans,
it is tough.
See ya. Yeah. See ya on the other side.
Well, I'm excited for this journey to keep going and to hear about it.
She told me to text her about my choose my own adventure because she's like, either you could eat lunch before you go to the game, which I'm not going to do.
No, the whole enjoyment
you could
is eating
eat
out.
the burger, right? And then like eat a lighter dinner. So she's like, text me what you choose. Okay. I'll let you know.
All right.
I'm going to be smashed. I'm going to text her like, hey.
Burger, half a bun.
I had half a bun.
That's
crazy.
Funny.
So yeah, I can't wait for this to be over. She sent me a meal plan too. And she's like, here, that's why I have to go grocery shopping because I have none of the, she gave me new ingredients. And I was like, fuck, I have all the stuff that I've been eating. But I'm not going to go this weekend. It's raining right now.
It's decided. Yeah, we're done. We're going on Monday.
We're done. Anyway, that's the end of it. We're done with this episode too.
Well, as always, thanks for joining. Bye.
2 hours.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.